You two are boys, a lot of love for each other. You went to the Derby together.
Like I said, I'm a Raider, and he knows that. So,
I love Devontae. I can't wait to play with him again.
Great. Love to hear it.
I can't even begin to explain how happy I am to actually bring you guys some legitimate NFL news. I mean, I've been starving over the past 2 months. I made a video on Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, for fuck's sake. I'm literally losing my mind over here, but thankfully, football season is 9 weeks away. And even better, we have a pretty crazy rumor for you guys today. So before we get to the content, we are giving away multiple copies of College Football 25. All you have to do to be entered is follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links to those giveaways are in the description down below. And now that we get all of that out of the way, break! We've been making bank on Prize Picks by playing the WNBA games. I mean, the other night I made $300 and I post all my picks for free onto my Instagram story. And all you have to do to join is go to the link in the description down below and click on the link, or download the Prize Picks app. Use my promo code FlightMike to get up to $100 in a deposit match when you sign up. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers are like peanut butter and jelly. These two were a legendary combination for the Green Bay Packers, and the reason it all ended was because Davante Adams more or less didn't really have a lot of faith in Jordan Love, which I know in hindsight is kind of crazy, but that's really what it was. Now there's a lot of he said she said to this entire equation, because Davante Adams would end up getting traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. He would sign the largest contract for a wide receiver in NFL history at the time, in the summer of 2022, which was the initial year where the wide receiver market became inflated. And this completely altered the entire course of the wide receiver market, because as a result of Davante Adams' contract, which got him paid $28 million a year annually, Tyreek Hill, who initially wanted to extend with the Kansas City Chiefs, also demanded a trade. Now, the Green Bay Packers claim that they offered Davante Adams the same exact money that the Las Vegas Raiders would have offered him, but according to Davante Adams, the Packers' initial extension offer was south of $20 million per year, which is well short of the $28 million per season that Adams received in an extension with the Raiders. You also couple that with the fact that he'd be playing in Nevada, where there's no state income tax, and it makes sense why he wanted to leave the Green Bay Packers. Now again, it's he said, she said. I could believe Davante Adams at this point here, because this is before the wide receiver market became so inflated. His contract was the first domino to fall. Another team was willing to break the bank for him, and he got to reunite with Derek Carr. And I guess if he didn't have a lot of faith in Jordan Love, which back then, it's not crazy to see why he wouldn't have faith in Jordan Love, because Davante Adams' last season in Green Bay was Jordan Love's second season on the bench, then it can make sense why he would want the ability to pick and choose his next quarterback. And the fact that he decided to go with someone that there was familiarity with that also paid him way more, it makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately for Davante Adams, he decided to sign with one of the most dysfunctional franchises in the entire NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders. And in year one, he did remarkable. With Derek Carr as his quarterback, the man didn't really skip a beat statistically. He had 14 touchdowns, which was the second most in his entire career, and over 1,500 receiving yards. The man was still a first-team All-Pro and a Pro Bowler. But it was year two where things went a little south. You see, for some reason, the Las Vegas Raiders decided to side with Josh McDaniels, a head coach that didn't really come into that season with a great reputation, over Derek Carr, their longest tenured quarterback in decades. A quarterback that led them through the tumultuous 2021 season. You know, the season where John Gruden had to resign because of the controversial emails. The Henry Ruggs tragedy happened. Damon Arnett, for some reason, took out a weapon and started threatening people on his Instagram story. And through it all, Derek Carr and Rich Bisaccia led this team all the way to the playoffs in a quite dramatic fashion, by the way, because the way that they got into the playoffs was by collectively fucking over Brendan Staley, when Brendan Staley refused to tie with the Las Vegas Raiders to get both the Chargers and the Raiders into the playoffs. We have a whole separate video on that, but in year two, Josh McDaniels wanted his guy, so he brought in Jimmy Garoppolo, and how that went was, well,
on the stunt, he gets picked up, wide open and overthrown as Davante Adams.
Now here's the crazy thing. Apparently, as a result of this, Davante Adams reportedly approved the decision to bench Jimmy Garoppolo, and he would not be on the Raiders anymore if he wasn't benched, which is hysterical, but honestly, I can't really blame him. Jimmy G was missing a wide open Davante Adams, and that was gonna hurt his bottom line. Whenever your quarterback can't get you the ball, people are gonna think that the wide receiver is washed as well. That's just the unfortunate reality of the way things work. So Davante Adams unfortunately has taken a bit of a hit in quarterback play, unless if Aiden O'Connell is like the next coming of Tom Brady, or Gardner Minshew's the next coming of Trevor Lawrence, which he might be. You can make a very legitimate argument that no matter what the case is, Davante Adams is gonna have a quarterback under center that's worse than Aaron Rodgers, which is what is resulting in a lot of rumors here. You see, depending on how the Raiders season goes this year, they could be in a situation where they need to move on from their best assets and try to rebuild a little bit. And the thing that sucks for the Las Vegas Raiders is they are the third best team in a very competitive division. I mean, first of all, you're you're in the same division as Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that's pretty much like being in the same division as the New England Patriots from 2000 to 2019. It's terrible. I mean, honestly, if I'm you at this point, I would just trade for draft picks in 2031. That's how bad it is. I don't even think you could do that, but you get my point. So unless if you put together a team that without a doubt could win a Super Bowl, that without a doubt could destroy the Kansas City Chiefs, then it probably makes a lot of sense to move on from your best players. The thing is this isn't going to happen in the offseason. At this point, we're so deep into the offseason that the players that you see on the teams in front of you are more or less going to be on these teams moving forward, except for small signings here and there, like Jamal Adams to the Tennessee Titans, for instance. So you're not going to see a major trade in July. That's just not how it works. But what could happen is if the Las Vegas Raiders get off to a rough start, which could happen, and to be honest is more likely to happen than not, respectfully, then you might see them be a little bit more willing to move on from their best players. I mean, to give you an idea, week 1 is against the Los Angeles Chargers. Week 2 is against the Baltimore Ravens. Week 3, they get one against the Panthers before they face off against the Browns, then the Broncos, then the Steelers, then the Rams, before facing off against the Chiefs, and then it's going to be the NFL trade deadline. So by then, you need to understand whether you want to make a push towards contention or whether you want to move on from your best players and get assets in return. Now, Davante Adams has made it abundantly clear that Aaron Rodgers is not giving up on his dream of reuniting with Davante Adams. And the funny thing about this is Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets are also in an extremely competitive division. I mean, the New England Patriots are rebuilding, but they're in the same division as the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. So it's not like it's a cakewalk to make it into the playoffs either. But according to Davante Adams, that's not stopping Aaron Rodgers. Watch.
You two are boys, a lot of love for each other. You went to the Derby together. We see the pictures on the Instagram. Are you telling me he's not getting your ear and saying, hey, I want to play with you again?
Oh, he's in that ear, that's for sure. he's in the ear, but you know, it's not as easy as it, you know, obviously we can get together and talk about the old times and potential of doing this and that, but like I said, I'm a Raider, so, and he knows that, so.
Now look, he's in his ear about recruitment. Okay, that's great. What are the odds that this happens? When you look at the New York Jets wide receiver room, it's very difficult to determine whether or not this is a complete product. Aside from Garrett Wilson, nobody in that wide receiver room is a sure thing. They brought in Allen Lazard just out of familiarity with Aaron Rodgers, and you saw how he did without Aaron Rodgers last year. They brought in Mike Williams, who's phenomenal when he's healthy, and he's not typically healthy. Xavier Gibson's a capable wide receiver 3, so it could make sense for the New York Jets to swing a trade for Davante Adams. And when you talk to Aaron Rodgers, it seems like he is very much determined to make this happen.
What's up? You think Luke Getsy's going to utilize Davante Adams good in the new Raiders offense?
I love Lou Getsy. He's a fantastic coach.
Awesome.
And I love Davante. I can't wait to play with him again.
Great. Love to hear it.
Now, in this particular instance, I don't think it would take that much to get Davante Adams on the New York Jets. I mean, I think his value could be 2 future second-round picks, one in 2025, one in 2027. This isn't a reflection on Davante Adams as a player, but he's about to turn 32 years old, and when you compare this to other older wide receivers that were recently traded, Stephon Diggs was traded to the Houston Texans along with a 6th-round pick and a 5th-round pick in exchange for a 2nd-round pick in 2020. 2025. And you could make the argument that Davante Adams is better, but Stephon Diggs is 2 years younger than Davante Adams. So at this point, if you're the Raiders and contention seems very bleak for you guys, you might as well try to load up on draft capital as much as you can and ship Davante Adams off somewhere else before his value becomes a 5th round pick or a 4th round pick just based off of age alone. This has been a rumor we've been hearing consistently since Aaron Rodgers joined the New York Jets, and while last year I thought it was a bit of a pipe dream, I think this year it could potentially happen. It's not going to happen within the next couple of months though. In order for this to occur, the Las Vegas Raiders would need to get off to a very bad start on their season, and the clear solution would have to be that they need to tank and try to rebuild. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about all this, man? Do you think this could actually happen? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.